right, well, here at the MTS Center, just moments after the announcement was wrapped up, I'm here with Tim Campbell and Gary Lawless. So we've been waiting for how long to hear about all of this? Any big surprises?
Surprises? No. Other than maybe the scope of the ticket campaign, we all suspected there was going to be one, but I was kind of, I don't want to say blown away, but impressed by you can see the planning that's gone into it and the extent of it. We're talking about 5-year commitments here for some of those seats, and I think that's a little more than even I expect to see. But obviously, they want the fans of Winnipeg to buck up and show their support in a big way.
Today is kind of, for me, the ending of one chapter and the beginning of another. When I came to the Free Press in 1999, Tim Campbell was the hockey writer here. And when he welcomed me to the beat when I first started coming around, I learned maybe my second practice there. And then all of a sudden, we were kind of like, well, maybe the NHL. And then I was the little puppy. I was allowed to ask him, hey, do you think it'll come back, Tim? and we would start to have those conversations, and it's moved along. And then, of course, the last 2 years, we've worked together jointly on this story, and came to this moment where, to me, it's just surreal. Like, we sat in that little room a little while ago, and the Chipman family came in, all the children, and then Mark Chipman's siblings and his father. And then a few minutes later, the Premier came in, and David Thompson, the richest man in Canada, who one of the richest men in the world, who has deemed this family and this community where he wants to invest his dollars. And then, then Mark Chipman and Gary Bettman came in, and I'm like, what's going on? We've thought it was coming. I had a moment of doubt yesterday in the last sort of 48 hours when things weren't getting done. I thought, wow, this is going to be awful if the rug gets pulled out from underneath this community. And then there they were, Gary Bettman and Mark Chipman coming in and talking about this. And then what Tim, I was so anxious to see the ticket drive, because Tim and I have been writing about this in our paper. We broke this story, Tim first in his excellent package with Mark Chipman last spring, and then recently wrote about it. And, we said 13,000 tickets and 3-year commitments, and the hue and cry, like, you're crazy, they're not going to do that. Well, they did it, and it's, $39 for the low end and $129. Like, that's what really caught my eye, the affordability.
Of the single games,
The single games, yeah. Like $129 is a lot of money. Well, you can spend $500 in Toronto on one ticket like that, and this is an intimate building. There's going to be great seats. It's going to be, if this works, this could be a failure. This could fall apart. We could be at the start of a little Green Bay Packers story right here in Winnipeg in the NHL.
Actually, I should add one other thing, and Gary just jogged my memory. Maybe a surprise for me today was David Thompson was here. We had long expected or suspected that, he's always been a guy in the background. He'll just let Mark do the business. He's in support, but he'll stay in the background. It's what he prefers to do. It's how he lives his life. But I think the fact that he showed up here today and sat on that podium with his partner and with his new partners in the NHL, and took Gary's question and answered it with such a heartfelt response about his commitment to this community and to the Chipman family and to this new venture, plus this arena. If that doesn't say something to people who've been paying attention, I don't know what does.
There was a lot of talk about the June 21st meeting, the Board of Governors. How much is still contingent upon that meeting and on their approval? I mean, could this still fall through?
Well, you never want to count your chickens until they're hatched. But look, Gary Bettman just doesn't take a flyer on these things. Like, he didn't just trot this out today, come here to Winnipeg and talk about this deal because he thinks it might work. The fact that he's here and it's going to be on the agenda, that's a pretty ringing endorsement to the Board of Governors. Certainly Winnipeggers are going to have to do their part. True North's got a lot of work to do. I think if they can take care of their business, that meeting is going to be a rubber stamp.
How wacky is this going to make all the divisions, having us move up here?
No, it'll sort itself out.
yeah, I think it will sort itself. It might take a year to sort itself out, but it will sort itself out.
Right. Final words?
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining us, Tanya.
Gary Lawless, Tim Campbell, thank you so much. I'm Tanya Coat for the Winnipeg Free Press.